Hello, I'm Noushin, and I'm back with Longman Academic Writing Series, Episode 3. If you haven't watched Episode 1 and 2, I strongly recommend you start with those. If you have, let's continue. So, today we want to talk about verbs, a little bit more, and a little bit more specifically about the simple present verb, the simple present form of the verb be. Or to be. We know it as usually as am, is, or in the simple present tense, and it's actually the most common and the most often verb that is used in English. Be technically is the base form. You've got a little chart on page 12. Let's look at it together. We have got some affirmative or positive sentences and some negative sentences or statements. The positive form will be subject plus be, sometimes not if you want to make it negative, and then whatever else after that comes. For example, ready, like I am ready, you are ready, he, she, it, Bill is ready, or not if you want to make it negative. So I am not ready, you are not ready, she is not ready. And in the plural form, that means with more than one, then we will have we, you, and they. The verb changes into are, and then ready. So we are ready, you are ready, they are ready, or not, they are not ready. Or Bill and I. Let's do a little practice, an easy peasy one. Practice 11, it says underline the subject in each statement and write the correct form of the verb be. So depending on your subject, you look at your subject, and then depending on your subject, you choose your verb. Pause the video for a minute or as much time as you need, and then come back and check with me. Ding ding. Okay, are you back? Let's see. Number 1, this exercise is easy. I am a new student. You are my partner. We are, on page 12, to make this a little more pretty, my classmates, plural form, are. All here today, the class is, it's like it. In room C250, my classes are. In one building, you and I are in the same group. The teacher is in the classroom and her first language is English. Cool. So, practice 12, the verb be in negative statements. What we want to do is we want to write negative statements using the correct form of be plus not. Don't forget not. So pause, write sentences, then come back and check with me. Ding. Ding ding. Okay, we're back. So, you are not late. The exercise is, it's plural. So, the exercises are not difficult. Full stop. Remember the full stop. It cold. So, it is not cold today. It's not really. My friends, plural. My friends are not here. Full stop. The teacher, one person. The teacher is not in his office. Full stop. You and Olga, two people. You and Olga are not in this group. Full stop. I hungry. I am not hungry. I am really. I'm always hungry. Page 12. We are not on page 12. We are not because we are on page 13. Now, the verb to be, as I said, is the most frequent verb that we use in English, but we're going to talk about 3 specific uses here. Of course, there are many ways to use it, but the rules are this. Number 1, to identify a person or a thing, we use be plus a noun. For example, I'm a student, you're a teacher, she's a doctor, Mali is a country in Africa, Iran is a country in the Middle East or in Asia, and so on. To tell where someone or something is, again, we use be plus an expression of a place. For example, our room is on the 3rd floor. I am from Lebanon. It's a place. Or, for example, the cup is on the table. Or the plants are behind me. Then we use it, or another usage is to describe someone or something. Where we want to describe, we need an adjective or an age. For example, Mary and Louise are married. I am 20 years old. About me, I would say that I am married. I am pretty. So any adjective to describe yourself. Okay, let's continue. Now, exercise 13, listen carefully. What I want you to do first is to underline the form of be. So you find your verb first, and then you look at the word after it. And then you decide, is it a noun, is it a place, or an adjective or age? So for example, number 1, I am 30 years old. You've got am is your to be verb, and then 30 years old, which is an adjective or an age. As usual, pause the video here, do it yourself, come back and check with me. Ding means pause. Ding ding means we're back. Okay, so my nickname is Niku. So Niku is a noun. I am not married. Am and not married. Not married is an adjective. My family is not here. Is and not here is a place. My parents are teachers. Or and teachers. Noun. I am from a small town. Am from a small town. Place. My eyes are brown. Or and brown. Brown is an adjective. My favorite sport is soccer. Soccer is a noun. This work is easy. Easy is an adjective. And we are on page 14. Are on page 14 is a place. Wow. Next part, practice 14. We want to make statements with the verb to be. We've got Marco here. Nice, handsome guy. As the Turks would say, yakışıklı. And he's writing about himself in his school. We want to complete the statements with the subject from the box and the verb and is or are. Pause. Do it. Come back. Ding. Pause. Ding ding. We're back. So, my name is Marco. Panama. Panama is a country. So, I am from Panama. Spanish is a language, so my first language is Spanish. Student, it's a noun. I am territory. We have a already, so I am a student. In Los Angeles, my school. My school is in Los Angeles. You could have written, I am in Los Angeles as well. From many different places. My classmates are, let's make it a T. Oops. Let's make it a little bit smaller so we can fit the whole sentence in. My classmates are interesting. What is interesting? We need a noun. My classes. My classes are interesting. And 20 years old is obvious. I am 20 years old. Done. In part B, your turn. It's super, super important. Read my lips. It's super, super, super important that when you are practicing, like here, when you're writing statements, when you're writing examples, when you are talking and you're making examples, you write true sentences about yourself. This is super, super important. Don't say for example. Really write sentences and statements about yourself. Here on page 15, you can use the subject from the box in part A or whatever else and use the verbs am, are, or is, am, is, are, and write 8 sentences, true sentences about yourself, first here, and then when you're sure about them, put them on YouTube in the comment sections. I'll look at them and we'll give you some feedback. Now, let's do some little bit of review. Do you remember we talked about first name, middle name, last name, nickname, full name? If you don't, episode 1. If you do, let's fill the gap. So, I would like to introduce myself in the box, practice 15. My name is Giancarlo Roberto Vitale. Please call me Johnny. I am from Rome, Italy. How did I pronounce that the first time? Giancarlo Roberto Vitale. His full name. Full name. Giancarlo is his first name. If we have any Italians here, excuse my horrible accent. I've always loved Italian. Always. When I'm done with my Turkish and my Spanish, then I'll I'll start learning Italian. For now, Roberto is his middle name. Vitale is his last name. And nickname, remember nickname? His nickname is Johnny. Done. Another little review. Do you remember we said look at model sentences and then write yours? Here you've got these model sentences. My name is, my nickname is, my complete name is, please call me, my family name, and this last part is interesting. I really don't know how to pronounce this, but it's like means smart and heroic. In the comments, tell me what your name means. My name is Noushin, and it means a sweet drink. Vilket jag ska säga som varmt. Thank you, Dad and Mom, for calling me a sweet drink. There we go. Now, to be a little bit serious again, whatever you want to do in life, most things that we want to do in life, we have to go through a process. And writing is not an exception. We need to have a writing process. We need to have steps. We need to know what to do first, what to do next, what to do after that, and what to do at the end to be able to produce something that is acceptable. Now, the process in writing is basically 4 steps. Number 1, which is super duper important, is to pre-write, to get ideas. What do I mean by that? You need to sit down first and think about what you want to write. So you take a piece of paper, don't do it in your head because you forget. I don't care how smart you are. Take a piece of paper. On the piece of paper, take notes. Don't write paragraphs, don't write sentences. Take notes about what you want to write later. For that, there are several ways you can do that. You can use your brain. Good idea. Think. You can use samples. You can read other people's writings. You can go online. You can look at wherever you can find samples. You can talk to people. You can listen to people and brainstorm. So you get a piece of paper. On it, you write your ideas. Step 2, you write the first draft. So you technically pick your ideas from wherever they are and you put them into paragraphs. And now you know how to write paragraphs. A little bit, okay? So you write paragraphs and then you go to the next step, which is revising and editing. Guys, revise and edit are different. A lot of people just edit. Remember that you need to revise as well. Revise means changing. For example, you can change the words, you can change the structure, you can change your opinion. You can, I swear to God, you can. You can change your opinion after you write it. So you can change it and write to something else. Or you can write another word, or you can use another structure. That is revising. Editing is checking for mistakes and making corrections. What I see is that a lot of people only edit their first draft. They don't revise it, but you need to have both. And then when you do that, if you're lucky to have somebody to check it for you, you will ask for a peer review. So you will give it to your friend or to your colleague or your peer or whoever has the ability to do that, to read your writing, to read your draft, and then give it back to you with their opinions and feedback. And then step 4, you write a new paragraph or a new draft. Look at the picture. On page 17, you've got this cycle. The first picture, I would say, is this one, where you sit down and think. I repeat, you sit down and think and take notes. Then you can write your first draft. Then you can talk about it or ask a friend or a peer to look at it. And when you're done, you can give it to a teacher or somebody that you're giving your assignments to for the final checks. So, here's your assignment. Page 18, you've got your assignment. Step 1, think about what you want to write. You've got samples. Then step 2, write your first draft. Step 3, revise and edit. Another important thing about this revise and edit is to revise and edit your own writing, but when you're doing it, read it out loud. Trust me, when you read something out loud, you will realize that you've made some mistakes because you will hear your mistakes. You're technically revising through 2 channels, not only your eyes, but also your ears. Or when you ask somebody to read it for you, ask them to read it loud, to read it out loud so that you can hear what you've written and they can hear what you've written and give you a better feedback. Super important. Note there, and then write your new draft. You can write them, of course, as always, in the comment sections, and I'll look at them and I'll give you feedback. Page 19, there's a little tiny pinky box, self-assessment box. Take a look and see what you've learned in this chapter. And I'd love it if you'd leave me a comment on this first chapter and motivate me to go to the next. Bye-bye. Görüşürüz.